So last time I came here, Mark, all I remember you telling me was that you'd given up having a watch, a mobile phone, a postal address, and you're just living on the beach, basically.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
I'll tell you my story then.
Okay.
My story was, or is, as I would say, I grew up in the United States, New
Yeah.
England, New Hampshire,
Yeah.
and I spent a number of years in Barbados, back and forth, and working for.
Restaurants.
Well, actually, I was working for AT&T and Verizon and Bell Atlantic, and then I owned a restaurant in the United States, and decided back in early 2000s to permanently move to the Caribbean.
Right.
So I had met some friends in Barbados.
Hmm.
So I said, well, what the hell? I'm going to go to Barbados.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, and give it a shot. I spent a couple of years just doing nothing. Happily retired, if you want to call it that. And then I had an opportunity to open up a restaurant. And I opened up a restaurant and a sports bar because I'm a big sports fan. And I did that for a few years. It didn't go quite as what I thought it would plan. Barbados is an expensive island, and I was losing money
Hmm.
like you wouldn't believe. And I decided, what else am I going to do? So I went home for a couple of weeks, and I thought to myself, nah, I don't want to go back to New England, back to the States.
You didn't like being back in the States after having lived in the Caribbean for a while?
I did not like the cold weather. I was from the
Okay.
Northeast.
Okay.
I don't know what you know what the Northeast is like, but the Northeast is like cold. Cold in the winter, 3 months of warm summertime. So I said, "Ah, to hell with it. I'm going to go back down to the Caribbean." And I went back down to the Caribbean, and I I met a woman, and that didn't work out either for me, believe it or not. Um, so I said, I'm going to try another different island because Barbados was quite large. 300,000 people, 400,000 cars. It wasn't what I was looking for. So I moved to St. Vincent, and that was in, that was 2013. Yeah, over 2 years ago now. And St. Vincent had a big storm. They had a trough come through, and 12 inches of rain in 4 hours. And I said, yeah, knocked out my power, knocked out my water, killed a bunch of people, mudslides, everything. And I just went down to the port, which is Kingston. I don't know if you know Kingston, but
Never
I went
been.
down to Kingston, and I met a person that owns a boat called the Scaramouche from Union Island. He's originally, I think he's Scottish or Irish. I'm not quite sure. By the name of Martin. And I said, you mind if I hook up? Where are you going? He said, I'm going to Union Island. So I said, yeah, I'll come on aboard. He says, come aboard. And that was what? End of December 2013. And I came over to Union Island. I met some people in town. And then I got not a bus, but a van over here. And I found my friends next door. And I haven't left. I've just been hanging out here on my own.
So twice you left where you were because you didn't like the weather, right?
Twice.
Once it was too cold, second time it was hurricane.
And now here is so pleasant. I mean, I've been here since oh God, January 2nd of 2013. So what are we into I'm into my third season here, and this is beautiful. This is such a nice bay, and the people that I've met here are beautiful. I mean, and I don't do much. I sleep in a beach chair.
You do.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
It's your bed, one of those.
Yeah, one of those right there. Actually, that is my bed right there. And my daughter, I mean, I talked to my daughter last 2 weeks ago, and
How do you talk to her?
I have to go over to Ashton, which is one of the village, send her an email, and then she sends me an email back, and she has a boyfriend that has a phone because she can't call down here because her phone's restricted for some reason, which I don't even bother with. And I talk to her through his phone, and she says, "Dad, come home." She lives in Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells me, "Come on home, Dad." I says, "April, I have no interest in going home because if I go home, I have to go home back into the business because I have an MIS degree in a CIS, computer science and stuff." And she says, "Hey, come home, make some money, go back home, go back to where." I said, "Nah, don't want to do that."
So who is it you go to in Ashton to use their computer? Because you don't have one, right?
Susan, who owns, see the building next door there?
Okay.
She owns the building next. In fact, she was here yesterday. Susan was here yesterday. I gave her big hugs, and I said, because she works in Kennewan, and she says, "Oh yeah, Mark, come on over. You know, anytime you want to use the internet." And she left yesterday. She went back to Kennewan because she has a job in Kennewan. And I said, "You know, I'll give you a call and I'll let you know what's going on if I need to go back and talk to my daughter." But as it is now, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
What is it you do?
My average day?
Mm-hmm.
I get up about 5:30. That's my bed right there. I get up 5:30. Cap and Sylvia, who you met, I introduced to you, they go out fishing. I open up their bar. I serve people Coca-Cola,
Who?
rum, whoever comes,
Cruises.
the local people and the tourists that come through. I run their bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the afternoon, I take a nap. And then at night, we drink rum.
Okay.
that's-
And you get in quite a bit of reading as well.
Oh, God. Well, as you can
Most
see,
days.
As you can see, I got 2 or 3 books sitting up there. I got books in the bag there. I do a lot of reading.
Okay. And what kind of things did you give up? Because I remember you telling me you gave up having a mobile phone,
Well,
a watch. Do you
Uh,
have an address?
what I gave up, how do I explain this the proper way? I gave up 2 homes. I lived in a hotel in Barbados for about 30 months. I gave up living like a rich guy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the way you would put it, basically. I traveled all over Europe, Sweden, England, Italy, France, Spain, Mallorca, Ibiza. I used to travel all over the place, and I don't know, I just figured that I was spoiled, I guess, if you want to call it that. With my job, I was spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
And geez, how do you put this the proper way?
You don't have to.
I started small,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up quite big, with a 150-seat sports bar in Barbados, a 100-seat restaurant in New Hampshire, and I just wanted to go small. A lot of people don't understand that, and I started helping out some people. I got involved with a church in Barbados, the Seventh-day Adventist, and I got involved with that, and then I just decided that you're gonna make me cry. I was just, I just wanted to go and meet people that are real, not fake. I guess that's my best way of saying it, because I could do whatever I wanted to do when I was growing up and when I had my business and stuff like that. And now I am in reality, in basic poor, living poor,
Yeah.
you know. And my daughter says I'm fucking crazy as a.
Has she been over to
says
visit you?
Oh, my daughter was married in Barbados.
No, but here.
No, not in Unai, because my daughter is the type that would. She likes cosmopolitans and the high life, and because I spoiled the shit out of my daughter, she likes all the high life and everything else. So here, no. Barbados, yes, but here, she thinks I'm crazy as a fucking loon. I don't think I'm crazy. I think I've got it right. I think this is beautiful. I could go back home, do my IT thing, do my hardware and my software and my programming and set up servers and stuff like that, and I don't want to do it. I would rather meet people like yourself, and that are basic. I don't know, how would I say that? Basic human beings that just like to go around and meet people. And
For running Pleasure's Bar, are you fed in exchange? How do you eat?
I don't run Pleasure's Bar no more. Pleasure's Bar, I've given up Pleasure's Bar because, how do I say this? Because pleasure is having a hard time to get by. Not that I'm same as me here. So I met Sylvia, and Sylvia, I run Sylvia's Bar now, where you got the Coke from, and Sylvia feeds me. I run the shop. I do all the wares, I wash all the dishes, I clean up the place, I run the house, I run the household. Pleasure was more like, he didn't want to get me that involved. Sylvia wanted to get me involved. So I said, okay, fine. So I went by Sylvia. And where we're sitting today, I run his bar too. This place, Seki and Vanessa. So when people come in, I help them bartending, and I wash the dishes here and do the basic stuff. I went back to, I don't know how you call it. I went back to basics.
Yeah.
As I would call it. I don't know how you would call it, but I went back to basics. So when the people come in here, I help them out with the dishes, I help them out with the bartending, and I help Sylvia out with that. We play a little dominoes, we have a little fun.
Can you tell us the story of the guy you met that came ashore with his family, and Pleasure was going to play the guitar for him?
Well, Bon Jovi came in.
Oh no!
Bon Jovi came in by Shark Attack, which is 2 buildings down. And Bon Jovi came in and came to me I didn't know, I didn't recognize him because he has a short cropped hair now. And I didn't recognize who he was. And he's a little short guy. And he came in and he said, I want to have dinner for 12 people. And we want to have the restaurant to ourselves. And I said, yeah, that's no problem. The shark attack's been here for over 30 years. So he said, I've heard of this man, Pleasure. Can you bring him down to play? He says, yeah. So I walked down, I got Pleasure, I brought him back. And we went out on the log out on the beach. And he said to me, so this is Pleasure. I said, yeah. So I introduced him, and I still didn't recognize him. He looked familiar, but I didn't recognize who he was. So I introduced him, and he said, well, Mark, I got a little band of my own. I said, you do? He says, yeah. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I live in New York. And I says, well, what's the name of your band? He says, Bon Jovi. I says, John Bon Jovi? And he said, yep. I said, you gotta be shitting me. I could not believe it. I said, you're John Bon Jovi. He says, yep, I'm John Bon Jovi. I said, okay. So Pleasure sat there, played with him, and played for him. And I said, well, John, can you play for us? He says, no, I've had 8 or 9 rum punches. He says, I can't, I'm not going to embarrass myself and play. So I said, okay. He says, but I'll sign all your books, I'll sign your cups, whatever you want. That was January 5th of this year, 2015. So he signed everybody's cups, all the books, whatever you wanted to sign. And he spent 3 hours by us just drinking. And he had his wife, his 4 children, his captain, first mate, second mate, his cook, Tammy, who he signed over the guitar to. A 62 Gibson. He signed over a 62 Gibson to the cook, Tammy. And I'm waiting for her to come back. They have a 190-foot sleuth called Marie that he owns. And it was just fun as hell. And we had a good night. We really had a good night. We really did. That was fun.
How long do you plan staying here in the Caribbean or on Union?
Well, to be honest with you, my daughter got a hold of me a couple of weeks ago and wanted me to come home because she's tired of Dad living off nothing, basically. And I got a hold of her back, and I told her, I said, you know, still don't want to go home. So I'm going to push it through at least next year. I'm going to push it through, but I will eventually go back. I mean, she lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm not a big Florida fan. Florida is flat and hot, and then it gets cold in the winter. It's not like everybody thinks Florida is a paradise. This is paradise. Everybody thinks Florida is paradise. So I plan on going through at least this season, and then after that, if I can't find anything that makes me a little bit more money, then I'll have to go home and make some, as we would call it, real money. You know, some serious money. But I don't want to go home. I mean, I can live off basically nothing a day.
Do you have a bank account?
No, I have nothing.
But no credit cards?
No credit card. My credit cards are expired. I have a bag that has 5. I have 2 Citi cards, 2 Chase cards, a Bank of America card, a Digital Federal Credit Union DCU card. They've been expired for 2 years now, so I've got nothing.
So you have no mobile phone, you have no contact?
I have a mobile phone. The gentleman here that owns this place that I'm working for now, he gave me a mobile phone.
Okay.
So I have a contact.
What
so
phone?
If you want a contact, I can give you a contact number. But I have 10 cents, 10 EC on the mobile phone.
She could just leave the Things so open internet with
Yeah.
my phone.
Yeah.
And contact you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he gave me a mobile because what I'm doing now is just helping him out, bringing business in and stuff like that. So no, this is way off the grid. This is, I mean, I could go home and I could go right back in, give myself a week or so, get myself situated, and I could go back in and do my IT thing and help with servers and this, that, and the other thing, and make it. I just got fed up with the United States.
Can you
To be
give me a
honest with you.
list of things that you own here at the moment, living on this beach? The things you own.
Things I own?
Yeah, like your clothes. What do you have with you? What items do you have?
Whew. The shirt on my back,
Okay.
And
the
books.
shorts. I have a bed pad to sleep on. Now I'm being serious here, okay?
Yeah. Honestly.
Probably 4 or 5 shirts, 4 or 5 shorts, no underwear, naked under here, no underwear. Couple of plastic bags and books, and that's it. Total serious. That's what I have living here. Totally serious.
So you're gonna rough it out for another year and a half,
Yeah,
and then go
I'll
back.
make it out. Yeah, my daughter. My point being is, she wants me to go back home. She contacted me a little while ago. She sent me. My daughter actually sent me some money because I ran out of money, and she actually sent me some money. She wants to send me a care package, and I told her, if you want me to go back to the United States, you show up physically. Come to this beach. Come to Dad, and I'll go home with you. Don't ask Dad to go home unless you show up here so I can get you to meet the people that I've been here for 2 years now, almost 2 years. If you show up, I'll go home with you.
You didn't have a daughter. Would you consider living here forever?
Yes. Yeah. Between here and Grenada. I spent some time in Grenada and Dominique here. But here is beautiful. I met the 2 people. You mentioned pleasure. He's a pain in the ass. I'll tell you that straight up. He can get really vulgar and everything else. But the people that Sylvia and Cap, the most pleasant people in the world. I mean, they go out and fish during the day and everything else. And I take care of their house. I do everything. I sell all the drinks. I do everything. I do the wares. I sweep. I do everything for them. And they took me in. Sylvia told me point blank, she feels like I'm her second father.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
she's older than me. She's going to be 66 next Thursday. And she says, you remind me of my father. You're my second father. So I take care of the place, and it's not much. I mean, come on, it's a shack.
Yeah.
You had some Cokes and some ice and some beer and some rum, and it's not much.
How many people are there living on this beach permanently?
8. Well, we lost one, so we got what? We have Latai, we have Cap, we have Sylvia, we have Pleasure, we have John, we have Rose, we have Lion, we have myself. 8 people. 8 people live here.